I've gotten a lot more comfortable in front of the camera these days, but it wasn't always like this. Hello. I'm at the park. I've been at the park for a couple hours. I was filming a brand deal. Being in front of the camera, documenting my life, talking to the camera, it's always been a dream of mine. But somehow, it still took me over 10 years to actually try. I spent years overthinking, doubting myself, thinking I was too ugly to be in front of the camera, thinking I had nothing interesting to say. So many lies. I wanted to show up amazing from day one. And maybe for some people it happens like that, but for most it won't. So because of my doubts, I ended up doing everything I could to learn about the camera. And being behind the camera, it was my safe space, but it was me hiding from what I truly wanted to do. I became a photographer, and it was a pretty cool time in my life. I did events, I shot for brands like Uber, did a few festivals here and there, and to this day I still love my camera gear. But the issue was that deep down, I knew that I wanted to be in front of the camera. Sorry, I had to move. A bunch of people came into the hut, and I have a fear of people snatching the camera away, so I try to keep my distance from people. Anyway, let's continue. Clearly, I went from being terrified being in front of the camera to now having it as my full-time job. How did that happen? At first, I made faceless videos. Faceless and voiceless, actually. I just filmed myself or filmed my friends, and then eventually came up with a video where I added captions of my thoughts as opposed to speaking in front of the camera, so it came out like this. These videos honestly took so long to make, and I've seen really cool ones online, but I think it comes back to the fact that I knew I wanted to speak in front of the camera, and I knew I was just hiding behind my craft. I didn't have the courage to do it yet, and you know what? That is actually okay. At least there was movement. At least I filmed a video. At least I edited. At least I posted. Then when TikTok became a thing, I started documenting my art process, and with that, I gathered up the courage to film voiceovers. Here are some of the first few ones I did. Turning my mirror paintings into stickers, part 1. So I took a picture of it and I put it into Lightroom to do some color correction. And then I'm using Procreate to erase all the background and basically prepare the file. I'm moving out in a month and I have to clean everything out, so I decided to turn them all into stickers. And basically this is the first piece that's ready. I have about 10 more to go. It's crazy because it doesn't even sound like me. And when I used to make these, I had a few friends come up to me and say exactly just that. Like, Jazz, it does not sound like you at all. And I said to them, I know it doesn't sound like me. I don't know how to make it sound like me. I just freeze up when I know I'm recording myself. And it was frustrating, but again, I'm proud of myself for even having done that. Then came 2024. It was literally the first few days of 2024. Thinking back, I'm like, 2024 was a massive year. I didn't realize what this first video would catapult my life into, but it's basically this video right here. I have decided. Those are powerful words. So I've been planning my life as one does every new year, and I realized that I make these big and exciting plans, but I don't actually take any action towards them. I think it was so awkward sitting in front of the camera, acting out the script that I had made. Airports are my favorite places. I think part of it is because no one knows who you are and everyone's just doing their own thing. So to me, YouTube was like that until I posted that video thinking no one would see it, and a friend sent it to my boyfriend. I thought I would die. Like, that was my worst nightmare. People I knew finding me online. And that was a whole other fear I had to get over, and it could be a story for another time. But the point is, I did not die. I am still here. Everything was okay. And eventually I kept showing up, and it is what it is today. So I wanted to share 3 tips that could potentially help you based on my journey. Step 1, I started where I was. I knew where I wanted to be eventually, which is actually here, speaking to the camera. I wanted to share my ideas. I wanted to show up with more personality. I didn't know exactly how to get there, but I knew what I could do in the moment was to start. That was where the first video came from. I told my friends I was gonna make a video, and they said, cool, let's see it. Until I had the pressure to actually create something, to post something. And that's where version 1 came from. Was it my best work of art? Clearly not. But looking back, that video started everything. Your first, dare I say, 100 videos will probably not be your best work. It takes a lot to master something. You just have to keep showing up and trust the process. I know it's so cliche, but I kid you not, try to make 10 videos and compare the first one to your 10th one, and you can already start to see the difference. Things have to Things have to look slightly rough before it starts being good. It's just how it is. And it adds to the plot, okay? Because imagine if we were all just born amazing at everything we wanted to do. And where's the story? No one likes a story like that. Anyway, you don't have to show up today as the exact version you want to be. You just have to show up. If you're scared of speaking in front of the camera, you can start just like I did. Start with text, play around with editing, and then maybe start trying voiceovers, and then sit in front of the camera and try something. A step in the right direction is still a step in the right direction, even if it's not the most perfect, biggest step you take. Believe that half steps matter too. Second point, I made filming less intimidating. As I've mentioned, I love my tech. I love my cameras. I had the 5D Mark III and then the A7 III, and now I have the A7C II. But none of these cameras helped me create more content. Actually, I primarily use them for photography. The point is, having a mic and a tiny camera makes filming feel a lot less serious, less formal compared to a giant DSLR in your face. And that helped a lot with my mental block. This little mic genuinely made filming feel less scary. Look at how far I am from the camera. You're so tiny. Let me take a picture. You barely exist. So because you're so far away, it feels less intense. And I feel like I'm just speaking into the void, which probably looks kind of funny because I'm out in public right now, but does it matter? It doesn't matter. So having a mic really works. You can get one from Amazon for like $30 to just practice. Also, you don't have to spend more money to get a tiny dedicated camera. You can start with your phone. Try filming yourself vertically and horizontally with your phone. Pretend that you're on FaceTime and just get to a point where you're okay speaking to the camera. And actually, one of my first few vlogs that I actually posted was from my phone. It just made the process so much easier. However, if you want recommendations for tiny dedicated cameras, if you think that would give you a creative push, because it did for me, I recommend the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This isn't the newest version now. There's the Pocket 4, there's the Pocket 4P, and there's also the Luna Ultra from 360. I go by the rule that I'm allowed to buy myself cameras and different types of gear if it helps me create. I love creating on the go, and the Pocket 3, or like these pocket gimbal cameras, are my favorite types of cameras at the moment. I know some people use action type of cameras, but somehow I just prefer this form factor. Look, you just need to make filming work for you. If that means getting out, film at a park like I am right now. Everyone's just doing their own thing, like no one's paying attention. I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I have a full guide teaching you how to use it, what accessories I use to make the most out of it, my filming techniques, as well as workflow from filming to editing. I have so many resources, so you can just go into it. But again, don't overwhelm yourself with all these. The best tool you have is the one that helps you create. And that could literally be your phone. Like, phones are so good nowadays. There is no need for all these things. Unless it brings you joy, in which do it. Do whatever it takes to help you get out of your head and record, edit, and post. You don't need to make the process harder than it feels. Use what you can today. Number 3, I prepared everything beforehand. This means all my cameras are charged, I script everything beforehand, research everything beforehand, understand where I'm going to be filming this. Preparation is key because when it comes to filming, I want to be out of my head and fully just in filming mode. This way I can focus on delivering the message and I don't have to be thinking about the content that I want to make in the moment. Personally, I'm not very fluent in the moment. I wish I could do public speaking, where they give you like a topic and then you start speaking about it off the top of your head. But I just can't do that. In fact, that is something I am trying to get better at. And making YouTube videos like this is part of the process. But coming back to having scripts, let me show you how I script my videos. Right here is my iPad mini. I have notes on it. And it's basically my script in point form, so I know what I'm talking about, and then I can just refer back to it. So I write out exactly what I want to say, then I break it down sentence by sentence. So in my head, I'm like, I read one sentence, and I look at you and I say, so I read one sentence, and I pause here. That's important for later. And I look back down and I say, then I look up and say it to the camera, then I look down. Then I look up and say it to the camera, then I look down. Then I read the next sentence. Look, it makes more sense when you've cut it in post. I film the entire video one sentence at a time, and when I mess up, it's fine, I just repeat it. That way it keeps the flow of the video going. And the more you do this, obviously, the more natural it will be. So this is how that part would look like after editing. So I read one sentence, then I look up and say it to the camera, then I look down and read the next sentence, then I say that one. So preparation makes everything easier. It gives you something to hold on to. It removes the pressure of trying to think, speak, and perform all at the same time. But keep in mind, preparations can also be a form of hiding. One can spend too much time in research mode or in scripting mode or in ideation mode, and then you end up not doing the thing. So my advice would be to have a hard cutoff or like a hard window for you to do your scripting on. So for example, it could be 30 minutes of research and then 30 minutes of scripting, because you don't want to put every single word on your script. It's going to come out too robotic. But with that said, obviously at the start, if that's what you need to get yourself in front of the camera, then by all means do it. Do what helps you and then eventually grow from that. But yeah, don't spend too long in the preparation. Give yourself a cutoff time and make sure you're actually doing the thing. You got this. At some point, I think you have to realize that the person holding you back from your dream life might just be you. Look, obviously there's real obstacles, but sometimes the honest answer is that we're not stepping out, we're not doing the thing that we know would get us to our dream life because we're just scared or complacent. But complacency usually comes from fear of trying. Nobody can do that part for us. No one can step out for us. It's literally just us. You gotta do it. I spent years waiting to feel like the kind of person that could sit in front of the camera and talk. But eventually I learned that I had to start doing in order to feel like the person that does these things. That's just how it works. And this is how I became her. If you've gotten this far, I hope that you feel encouraged and you're willing to take the first steps. I'm also assuming that part of you wants to learn how to film. If so, I have tons of tutorials on my Instagram and my TikTok showing you how to use cameras, showing you shot lists, filming ideas, and a whole bunch there. I film a ton of technical tips on my short form, but on YouTube, I think I want to show up more in terms of mindset. I just feel like there's so much more time that we can spend together, that we can be chatting about experiences and learnings and tips compared to short form. But also, I'm just a little bit burnt out from short form, to be totally honest, which I talk about in this video right here. It could be right here. So let me know if any of these points helped you. And if you've gotten over your fear of filming or doing something big in life, share your tips down below. What's the scariest thing you stepped out to do? And what made you take that step? Share your stories. You never know who it's gonna help. And if you're still sitting there scared to film yourself, please just film it. Just film it and tag me and let's get over this fear together. Anyway, I think my time in this park has come to an end. I have been here for 3 hours now. The sun has gone down a little bit. Well, the clouds have moved in. It feels a little bit sketchier now. I think it's time to make my way home. Practice makes progress. I'm so excited to get home so I can edit this video right here. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to start. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.